maybe even more than the Hungarian society, the Norwegian society is an ethnic homogeneous society with a huge majority population, and the Norwegian society has a very short history with ethnic minorities. So there is a job to be done.
Ethnocide is the deliberate and systematic destruction of the culture and makeup of an ethnic group. It is officially recognised as a criminal act that meets the legal standard of genocide. To date, many of us have avoided the word genocide out of respect for victims of mass humanitarian atrocity. After all, how could we speak of immigration as a form of genocide when we know what happened in Pol Pot's Cambodia? But many are mistaken in thinking genocide is determined by outcome. It is in fact determined by intention, and the motive behind multiculturalism was racial diversification, not out of necessity or public desire, but in the words of Pierre Trudeau, as an experiment. The imperative of ethnic dilution is being imposed upon the indigenous population of Europe, as if we were inherently guilty of existing. Guillaume Faye captured it perfectly when he wrote that white people have been likened to bleach that must at all costs be diluted in water. This partly accounts for that intellectual phenomenon known as toxic whiteness theory, and claims made by politicians such as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who made the public announcement that white supremacy is a disease lying dormant that needs to be inoculated against. This inoculation has come in the format of diversification. How do we know this? Well, because we've been told so plenty of times.
Peter Sutherland is the United Nations Chief Migration Officer, and he has no fear of saying this. He's come out and he said, we will utilise mass immigration and multiculturalism to destroy the nation states of Europe.
Luckily for us, Bolsheviks really struggled to downplay and conceal the desire and plans for white erasure. They celebrate and publicise them very openly. And whilst for us that's been degrading and humiliating to witness, their excitable, overconfident arrogance has made them reckless to our benefit.
There will be no white people anymore, and only cappuccino-colored people.
Look, that's the only way. This is the only solution.
They've handed us everything we could ever need to make an ironclad accusation against them. And that is what this video is about. The point of this video isn't to blackpill or to frighten you with this subject. It's to show you that we are in a position to begin making serious allegations of criminality against the state. In Britain, this case begins with Lord Peter Mandelson, a former Labour MP for Hartlepool under Tony Blair and Gordon Brown. In an unexpected interview in 2013, Lord Mandelson admitted the following, quote, "In 2004, when, as a Labour government, we were not only welcoming people to come into the country to work, we were sending out search parties for people and encouraging them. This news was significant because, in the past, senior figures had denied that they engineered immigration, something of which the public was highly sceptical." Journalist Tim Shipman, who secured the interview at the time, called it a stunning confirmation that the Blair and Brown governments deliberately engineered mass immigration. And there we have the word we're looking for, deliberate.
Do you accept, yes or no, that there is an intentional white demographic replacement taking place within the UK?
We need to find the courage to say that diversity is merely a euphemism for low-level ethnic cleansing. And that's because its stated aim is the blanket transformation of entire population groups. This transformation involves the rapid repopulating of our homes, in defiance of our laws and disdain for our borders. But most importantly, it's a policy of forced assimilation that deliberately aims to rob us of homogeneity. One of the most important changes we can make is to shift the way we speak about diversity as a policy of unwelcome inconvenience, and start talking about it as a criminal act of deliberate ethnocide.
So the number of ethnic minorities in the area has doubled since 2010. It sounds like we're about to hit the 30% BAME figure, and every seat in the country that has 30% BAME constituents goes Labour. Hello? We're a little bit late.
You can't tell me that this isn't deliberate. The collaborators in this great sea change are highly self-conscious. They know what they're doing. And And we are now at a point where I think we can confidently make accusations, not just speculation. In the words of Tim Wise, policymaker, you white people are on an endangered list, and unlike, say, the bald eagle or some exotic species of muskrat, you are not worth saving. In 40 years or so, maybe fewer, there won't be any more white people around, and that's a good thing. One of the beautiful things about the internet is that proof like this never disappears. So I hope you're starting to regret that cavalier attitude, because in the past decade you've made that classic Bolshevik mistake of overreach, celebrating the endgame before it's even complete, and advertising your intention on the front page of the news. What are you, morons? Thank you for providing us with the evidence that your policies are deliberately malicious.
Maybe even more than the Hungarian society, the Norwegian society is an ethnic homogeneous society with a huge majority population, and the Norwegian society has a very short history with ethnic minorities. So there is a job to be done.
Ha! Gotcha.